Allow me today to take you down the history memory lane. And according to people, history makes us who we are. And once we disobey the ones of our forefathers, then we might suffer the consequences. We all know that Raila Odinga signed an MOU with President William Ruto on Friday last week. But this MOU violated an oath that one former Vice President of the Republic of Kenya, Mzee Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, the father to Raila Odinga, made to the people of Luo Nyanza. As history tells us, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was the president that never was. He was a man that had forgone his ambitions just for the sake of the people that he led, and those are the people of Nyanza region. Something that Raila Odinga, as his son and the political enigma that takes after his father, has forgone. Now, with the pact that Raila Odinga signed with William Ruto, he violated an oath. And the consequences of the violation of an oath that was declared by one Jaramogi Oginga Odinga is what Raila Odinga is facing right now. As of Sunday, 48 hours later after Raila Odinga signed an MOU with William Ruto, for the first time in his political history, he was rejected in Kisii and heckled. There, history rewrote itself for Raila Odinga. He became a man that was not needed in a place that adorned and embraced him every time that he showed up there. As I speak, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga left the government of the late President Mzee Jomo Kenyatta in the year 1966. Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was not kicked out of that government. He had every right to remain in that government. But due to his differences with Jomo Kenyatta, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga walked out of that government. And from there, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga started the war for the liberation of the people of Luo Nyanza from the hands of Jomo Kenyatta. And that is when he started this party, the Kenya People's Union Party, the KPU, in the year 1966. But Kenyatta then had tried to declare Kenya a one-party state. The ruling party then being KANU was the one that held the utmost power. Now, when Kenyatta died, during the years that Kenyatta was alive from the year 1966 to the year 1978, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga refused a lot of approaches and a lot of deals that Kenyatta brought to him to try and reconcile their relationship that had been their relationship that had been broken. Because as we know and history tells us, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga rejected to become the president of Kenya if Jomo Kenyatta was not released from prison. And after Kenyatta came back, he took what was meant for Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. But Jaramogi never complained. He continued working with him, looking at him as a brother that we had fought for revolution of Kenya, and we had taken Kenya out of the hands of captivity of the white settlers and the British colony government. But in due time, he realized that for Kenyatta, it was not about leadership. It was about grabbing and making himself and the people around him rich. It was not about the people it was not about the citizens of the people of the Republic of Kenya. Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was a pro-people person, and that is one factor that Raila Odinga took from him. Raila Amolo Odinga, since he entered the political scene, he has been a darling of the people of the Republic of Kenya because he has stood on the opposition line, always fighting to make sure that the people of the Republic of Kenya are served right. His people in the Luo Nyanza are recognized in the government. Now, when Jaramogi Oginga Odinga left the government, for the years that Mzee Kenyatta was alive, he continued fighting with Kenyatta until Kenyatta died in the year 1978. And when Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi took over the government, for some time, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga thought things would change because this was a Nilotic brother. Remember, the Luos are River Lake Nilotes and the Kalejins are, should I say, plain Nilotes? Yeah, I think so. Now, when Moi took over, he offered Jaramogi Oginga Odinga a position in the government to be the head of a certain committee, and it was committee about cotton and all that. But Jaramogi Oginga Odinga could not cease from speaking the truth. He could not cease from speaking truth to power. He said that Mzee Jomo Kenyatta was a land grabber, and he maintained that even after the death of Jomo Kenyatta and Moi had taken over. Now, through the years that Moi took over, after the year 1982, when the coup attempt happened, a lot of Moi tried to even point fingers at Jaramogi, but all blame fell on his son Raila Amolo Odinga, who was arrested and detained without trial. For several years, Raila Amolo Odinga was in prison. But during the time that he was in prison, his father kept on the fight to liberate the country out of the hands of Moi. But during that time, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga realized that the Kalenjin's leaders were worse even than the Kikuyu leaders because he entrusted the Kikuyu leadership from Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. So Moi again decided to show him dust. Now, they fought until the year 1992 when officially Kenya was declared a multi-party state and Kenya held its first election. And in the said first election, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was a candidate in the said election. And while he was campaigning, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga told his Luo Nyanza people, one thing that you should never do, never come second to either a Kalenjin or a Kikuyu leader. As in never become a running mate or a vice president to them. As we live, make sure you always fight for the top post. And if they don't give you that, go ahead and stand with the people because the people are always there and they will always support you if you support them. And that is one thing that his son Raila Amolo Odinga took and went on with it. Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, after fighting for so long for the liberation of this country, in the year 1992, when the election happened, they fell out with Matiba. Matiba went ahead to buy, also Kibaki went ahead to buy, and Moi on the other side was buying. Now, Moi won the election and became the president. Matiba was second. Kibaki was that. And as I said, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga came last. With all the years the old man had put in fighting for the liberation of this country, they made him come last. And Jaramogi were partners with Matiba. But Matiba, at long last, broke up with Jaramogi and went to form his party called Ford Asili, and Jaramogi went with Ford Kenya. Are we together? Now, there is where Jaramogi Oginga Odinga declared that there is no time in history he or the people, and they took an oath and he told the people of Nyanza, the Luo Nyanza, never decide to enter into an agreement with a Kalenjin leader where you will be second to them. And that is why, for several years, since the year 1992, when Raila Amolo Odinga ran for the presidency in the year 1997, he decided to run for presidency, yet he knew there were limited chances of him being a young man to win the election. But he went ahead to run. He could have decided to support somebody else, but he didn't. He kept on following the footsteps of his father and what his father taught him. But as time goes by, Raila Amolo Odinga decided to start forming his own political path and to stop walking on the footprints of his father. And the first coalition that happened was in the year the year 2001. And when Raila Amolo Odinga entered in the government and had an handshake with Moi, that handshake Raila Amolo Odinga knew Moi couldn't last long and could not continue ruling. So Raila Amolo Odinga knew there was a chance that he would be endorsed for the presidency. But Mzee Moi went ahead to betray Raila Amolo Odinga, where he chose Uhuru Kenyatta. And that is where the ones of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga started hitting the point. People from these communities shouldn't be trusted. I mean, we took an oath not to follow these people, not to enter into agreements, into political agreements with these people, because for the longest time we have done so. Since time of independence, when we took independence, I did so with them and they betrayed me. So there is no way they are going to trust you fully and to be trustworthy to you. So Raila Amolo Odinga entered there. And when he was not given that, he took it as an obligation to make sure that Moi and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and all the other candidates fail. It doesn't matter. Money was given to Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga was pampered with gifts by Moi to support Uhuru Kenyatta. But 6 months to the election, Raila Amolo Odinga and a lot of people that knew Raila Amolo Odinga was supposed to be given that seat to vie for president in the year 2002, walked out of the government with Raila Amolo Odinga and they said, Kibaki Tosha. Now, Raila Amolo Odinga could not enter into the Rainbow Coalition, the NARC Kenya Coalition, and seek to become the running mate or the deputy or the vice president or even the president, because he knew Kibaki was there and Kibaki had stood firm in that. Kibaki had previous experience because he was a vice president in Moi's government. So there was the high chance that he had the political experience to run for presidency. Then here was Kijana Wamalwa. Kijana Wamalwa was brought in as a factor, as these people were all being united by one, Charity Ngilu and Martha Karua. When they came together, Raila Amolo Odinga saw that he cannot run against them and win, and decided to back them on an agreement that saw him benefit from that power. But in the year 2005, Raila Amolo Odinga disagreed with Kibaki and they fell out. Now, it tells you that once Raila Amolo Odinga enters into this coalition, the hold that his father had taken, but you shouldn't trust a Kikuyu or a Kalenjin leader, has always followed him. Raila Amolo Odinga has remained to be the darling of the people. After Kibaki left, Raila Amolo Odinga entered into a coalition with Uhuru Kenyatta in 2018. And Uhuru promised to make Raila Amolo Odinga the president. He had all the mercenary. He had all the power to make Raila Amolo Odinga the president. But he did not deliver on that. And now, this time round, he went on to make a mistake that his father made to support William Ruto. And now, for the first time in his political career, Raila Amolo Odinga has been heckled, has been chased, and people have said that we don't want you, that you don't speak for us, because he associated himself with this young man called William Ruto. Are we together? Now, it is ideological that the thing that, the oath that Jaramogi Oginga Odinga took, I was saying that we, the Luo people, will never scam second to nobody. And we will never give our allegiance and our trust to the Kikuyu people and to the Luo people again. To the Kalenjin people again. Has always haunted and has played a very critical role in this pact that Raila Odinga and William Ruto made. It doesn't matter that Raila is old, but his father's ones will haunt him. And that is why I'm telling you, this pact will not last for any longer. As the circle of heckling Raila Odinga began on Sunday, 9th of March 2025, it will go on. It will echo through other counties that have supported Raila Odinga. And Raila Odinga will have no otherwise than to go back and revisit where he went wrong. Are we together? I have just decided to give you just a small political history on why Raila Odinga's decision to work with William Ruto in this pact as second to President William Ruto made him violate an oath that was taken by his father. And that is why he is being haunted. I will leave it there. Tell me what you think. Do you believe that holds and the ones that were said by our old men back in the days can follow us until to this certain point? Leave a comment on the comment section. See you in our next video. This is the Kenyan Daily Report. Please make sure you subscribe.